the great tree. Deep in the forest, where the trees grew tall, lived the tiny tinnies, oh so small. In a village hidden away, they played and laughed throughout the day. One day, they heard a rumbling sound. A bulldozer came and plowed the ground. The tinnies were scared. What could they do? Their homes and forest were gone, it was true. But then a child, big and tall, came to the forest to play and explore all. The tinnies saw this and had an idea. To talk to the child, to make their voice clear. They climbed up the child's pants so high, and whispered, "Please don't let our forest die." The child was surprised and listened with care, and promised to help the tinnies repair. Together they worked day and night, planting new trees, what a sight. The tinnies and the child became friends, and promised to protect the forest until the end. Now the tinnies live happily in their home beneath the trees. Thanks to the child who heard their plea. The forest is safe, and they are free. The Lost Acorn. Once upon a time in a forest small, lived tinnies, a tiny race, so spry and tall. They lived in harmony with trees and plants, and cared for nature, never taking it for granted. One day, while gathering acorns on the ground, they noticed one missing, nowhere to be found. The tinnies searched high and low, but the lost acorn was nowhere to show. They asked the squirrels and the birds up high, but no one had seen the acorn. They all replied. The tinnies grew worried, they needed that nut for their winter stock, it was a must. Just then, they heard a voice so loud. It came from a nearby human crowd. The tinnies hid, for they were afraid of the big people's power and the mess they made. But one brave tinny, named Tim, decided to venture out and see what was grim. He climbed a tree and saw from afar a human child holding the lost acorn like a shining star. Tim approached the child with care, and explained the tinny's need for the acorn rare. The child, named Lily, listened and smiled, and returned the acorn, making Tim feel so mild. From that day on, Tim and Lily became friends, and the tinnies and humans found common ends. They worked together to preserve the forest so green, and a new era of peace and harmony was seen. The Rainbow Bridge. The tinnies reached the edge, where the river met the ledge. They looked for a way to cross, to reach the acorns without loss. Suddenly, they saw a sight. A rainbow so vivid and bright. It arched high above the ground, and seemed like a bridge they had found. But how could they cross it, they thought. They were so small, they'd surely get caught in the breeze that blew on high. They'd surely fall and they'd surely die. But then they heard a voice. It made them feel so full of rejoice. It said, "Don't worry, little friends. Just follow me, and the rainbow never ends." The voice led them step by step across the bridge without any misstep. They reached the other side, where the acorns waited, oh so wide. They gathered them all up with glee. They danced and sang so happily. They knew they had accomplished their quest. Thanks to the rainbow, they had been blessed.